I'm Vasanth Immanuel. I work at SAP Labs Bangalore. I'm here to give a talk on data orchestration. Um, how we built a data orchestration solution in a cloud native way. So I'm going to talk about the experiences and share what are the pain points that we faced and what are the experiences in building a product like that. Anybody out here, can you tell me what is orchestration? Uh, Kubernetes as an orchestrator takes care of, helps you to manage a lot of things similar to it. Orchestration, maybe we can put it in a way, automated way of doing things, or from the beginning to the end, how a solution can do things automatically. Either it is a configuration, either it is to do something with the processing, how it can be done in an automated way. That is what we call it as an orchestration. I'll shortly introduce you to what is data orchestration and what are the things that we try to do in our company. To start with, introduction, you can see that we are living in a data world. There is lot of information everywhere, whether it is your mobile devices, whether it is your social media, whether it is your IoT sensors. There is plenty of information. And people store it everywhere. Some people store it in the cloud, some people store it in their data center, some people have a data warehouse where they store the data. Uh, how you can make sense out of this data? Can the end user really make use of this data in any way? What is the solution to make use of this differentiated data? That is what we are going to talk about in this session. So as we see, we are living in a world where there is plenty of information, and as the saying goes, information is wealth. Whoever makes sense of the data or get insights out of this data will be able to address the consumer end user need much more better than the others. So what is data orchestration solution? It is a solution that helps you to make sense of this differentiated data. Whether you store it in the cloud, whether you store it in your data warehouse, whether it is from an IoT sensor, how you can make use of this data and make some insights out of it. But data orchestration, as we know, what are the challenges? What are the challenges that we have? Um, when you say challenges, when you build such a data orchestration solution using Kubernetes, there are plenty of challenges. Uh, we as an enterprise company, we operate and maintain a data orchestration solution in Kubernetes? It is a quite challenging one. And containerized architecture, when we containerized our architecture, it can be deployed in any platform that supports Kubernetes. When I say any platform, there are lots of platforms available in the market. Which platform do we say that we can support? Um, there comes a problem of plenty. There are plenty of solutions and plenty of platforms in the market, and how do we build a solution which can work in all the platforms or any platform that the customer chooses? There again is a challenge, and we as an enterprise company have to build a solution which is an enterprise grade. Customer will always seek support from us, whatever the solution we release to the market, always will look forward for support. So can we support whatever the customer's choice of platform or choice of deployment? So that also comes into consideration when you build an enterprise scale product. So when you build an app and release it, a mobile app, it is kind of a business to end user case. So that use case is different. When you build an application for a business user or an enterprise, the use case is completely different. So we will see in this talk about what are the challenges that we faced when we build an enterprise grade product. So we talked about orchestration. Orchestration, as I mentioned, it is an automated way of doing things, whether it is a configuration, whether it is coordinating the activities or management of things. It is automated way of doing things. So data orchestration, as we speak, it is an automated way of data-driven products or pipelines from the end to end, from the start to the connecting with the source, getting the data, and then modeling and processing it, add some governance to it, and then derive insights out of it. The start from the beginning to the connecting with the sources, and then getting the data, and then processing it, and get some insights out of it. All these are all part of your data orchestration. So this is what a data orchestration solution does. It helps you to connect with different sources, whether you store your data in the cloud, or whether you store your sensor data in your warehouse or any of the edge devices. It will help you to connect to different sources, and then once the ingestion is done, and then it helps you to process your data. You can model your data, you can add governance to your data, and then helps you to derive the insights out of it. So this is what a data orchestration solution does. uh, so there are plenty of data orchestration solutions in the market. So we try to build it in a cloud native way. When I say cloud native way, we created scalable data pipelines. I will come about it come shortly. What is data pipelines? And we created different operators which can connect to different data sources, so that you help you to whether your system is on premise or in the cloud or in a hybrid mode. We help you to connect to your data source. We also added a governance to it, so that we can ensure the quality and integrity of the data. And as an enterprise solution, we need to provide support to our customers as well. So this is what we try to do in our data orchestration product. So the first point that we took care is it's to deploy anywhere. So as you know, the customers, many of the enterprise customers are now in the on-premise world, and they are reluctant to move to the cloud world, and some are taking the first step and they are able to have it on a hybrid kind of an approach. So we wanted to cater to all the needs of the customer. So we wanted to support on-premise systems, as well as cloud systems as well. So we thought of a solution which can be deployed anywhere, whether it is on-premise or in a hybrid mode or in a private cloud mode or in a public cloud mode. So we wanted to cater to that needs of the customer. So we started with data pipelines. So I'll come about it shortly. What is a data pipeline? It is a flow graph based approach. So we wanted to have it so that it can be reusable. It can also be scalable. Whatever is your scenario, whatever is your processing that you need to add, you can add much more capabilities to it, and the flow graph is reusable and it can be scaled easily. And we wanted to add governance to it. So we wanted to have a metadata catalog. We have a metadata catalog so that a complete visibility of the data is available for you from the source to the end. Wherever the data is, whatever your source is, we have a catalog so that you can easily search your data, you can easily add tags to your data and stuff. And landscape management, as the Kubernetes is a new platform, everybody is pretty new to it. How we can make it easier for the customer so that he can understand things, what is happening behind the screen, what are the logs that he needs to look into, what are the insights that he need to get so that he can manage his systems effectively. And we wanted to provide a graphical user interface to monitor and govern the data. So at any point of time, you can see where is the data is, what is the stage of the data, where the error is, and you can have a look into your pipeline to know where your data is, what is the state of your data. So this is what we did in our data orchestration solution. We wanted to do it in a cloud native way, and we took care of these are some of the things that we added in our product. So I spoke about data pipelines. What are these data pipelines? It is a flow graph based method that I mentioned about. So it is a graphical user form. So you can add different operators. The individual nodes are called operators. You can just drag and drop from your operator screen, and then you can connect them and join them to form a graph. Each of these nodes run in their own containers. These are developed using Golang. So every node or every component or every operator has its own functions. It can also be customizable, and you can also create your own custom code in it, write your own custom code in it using Python. So for example, there's a sample graph over here. So we have a data generator. So it generates some kind of a random data, and you have some processing nodes, and then you have some utility to convert it into blob and write into some kind of a file. So this is what this sample graph does, and each node runs in a container. So this is one way of how we are connecting things with different sources of data. So instead of data generator, you can replace it with any of the connectors, any of the sources that you want to connect to, and that operator will be able to connect to systems, whether it is an on-premise kind of a source or whether it is a cloud kind of a source. We have operators written to connect to different sources. So, and the communication between these containers, they are using NATs, NATs messaging system to communicate with each other. So this is a sample data pipeline. So this is scalable, and it can be easily reusable. You just click run and it runs. You can also schedule this graph whenever you require it. And if you want to do some modification, add some nodes or add some processing capabilities, you can do so. You can also customize what is a customize and do things. So this is the core of our solution. This is a graphical pipe. We have a graphical interface for this, so that you can do your modeling in it. So this is a screenshot of our pipeline modeler. You can see on your left side is different sample graphs, and different operators are there to connect to different sources. And on my right is sample graphs that we have. So you can see sample graph data generator, and then storing it in S3, and again reading a node to read from S3, and then show it for you in a terminal. Uh, so this is a kind of a sample graph that we have. So this is a scalable data pipeline, or you can reuse it many times as you need. You can add different nodes. You can also customize things. Um, Custom customize things. You can also schedule it and run as you when and as you want need. So you can connect to different data sources, whether it is your HDFS, whether it is a Kafka system. You can connect to different sources as well. So what is the architecture? So I'll just give you a very brief about our architecture. So the core of the architecture is the pipelines. So as the architecture slide mentions, it can connect to different sources. Here we have mentioned about our enterprise source systems, and also on-premise systems and cloud systems. It can connect to the main core thing is about the pipelines. We also have data governance part. We also have machine learning context things into the product, but I'll show about the core pipelines that we were talking about. So the pipeline has got different connectors. I spoke about it, whether you want to connect to different sensor systems, or whether you want to connect to cloud aspects. You can make use of these operators. So we have SAP specific connectors. As you know, ABAP systems, these are the core SAP systems. We have connectors specific to that. We also have a streaming messaging kind of a connectors, for example Kafka or HDFS. So for cloud specific connectors, we have cloud data integrator. ML operators, these are specific to ML scenarios. You can also do customize your ML scenarios, and you can write your own custom code in it. You can use Python, you can use Go and write your own custom operators. So, and all these operators can be put together in the form of a pipeline according to your scenario, and then it can be used to process your data. So I'll just show you a sample architecture, how it looks like when you deploy it in a Kubernetes world. So here is a sample 3-node architecture. So the things that are in the blue or partly SAP specific or generic, the OS levels and stuff like that, and the things that are green are the particular whatever the solution that we developed. So here you have a data hub solution. That's the name of our solution, where the pipelines and all those stuff, whatever are shown in the previous slide, architecture exists, and this is deployed on top of Kubernetes. So it can run on a single standard node for any small scale deployment. It can also run in extended world. Is a number of nodes can be added to the master node, and you can extend it as your workload requires. So this helps us to scale the system. You can have a cloud kind of a scalability, so you can extend the and add the number of nodes as you require. Okay, so as I was speaking about B2B products and B2C concept, so the first thing that comes into mind when you build a B2B kind of a solution is who will take care of the maintenance. So will the company provide me support? That is what is the first thing that the customer asks about. That is the first question that the customer has in mind. As Kubernetes is a new platform or a new way of doing things, when we build a product, when as an enterprise company, the first question that customer has in mind is about the support or the maintenance. So that is the first things that we need to address when we build a B2B kind of a product. And as I mentioned, there are plenty of versions of Kubernetes available in the market, and you need to choose which versions to support. That is again a tough choice to make when you build a B2B product. Uh, what is the version that you can choose? Which version you can choose to support, and say this is where my product can run. Again, immediately the customer might ask, why not this platform? So every customer has their own preferences, every customer makes their own choice. They have plenty of options available in the market. So whenever you say this is where my product can run, they can easily question you like, why not this, why not this? So when you say fully, when you make a containerized architecture, it can be deployed on any platform that support Kubernetes, and you have on-premise systems as well, on-premise Kubernetes platforms like OpenShift, CASP to support, and there are plenty of other platforms as well in the on-premise world. In the cloud world, again you have plenty. So for example, Azure's Kubernetes service, or you go to Google Cloud Platform, or you go to Amazon, or you go to Alibaba Cloud, again they have container service. So which container service to choose and which you need to support, this is something that call that you need to make when you create a B2B kind of a solution. So this is what the customer is keenly concerned about, whether the company, whether as a company, enterprise company, you release a product for me to use, and will you take care of the maintenance and support. So when we see on-premise, we wanted to have a vendor who can take care of the maintenance and support. So can the vendor act as a partner, and can they take care of certifying the solution in their Kubernetes platform? That is the first thing that we were looking for. So we were able to ask Red Hat and SUSE to take care of the certifications in their platform, and so we were able to support the on-premise OpenShift and CASP platform. On the cloud world, we have again plenty of solutions. We wanted to support the three main cloud vendors, public cloud vendors, AWS, GCP, and Azure. And moving on to the market in China, we wanted to support early cloud as well. So we wanted to address different market according to the market scenarios or market regions that we address. We need to choose the vendor platforms whom we have to support. So this is one of the key thing that we need to decide on. We need to work on when we say we build a product in the Kubernetes platform. So as I mentioned, when you build an enterprise grade product, these are some things that you need to be ready to answer the customer. So this is one of the key things that we were looking for when we started. Key challenges that we faced when we start to build this data orchestration solution. And moving on further, we were using different components or different projects from the CNCF world. A lot of projects were incubating in nature. For example, here we were using Rook's F. So we were facing plenty of problems with respect to our volume mounts, physical volume mounts. So when you use an incubating project or a sandbox kind of a project, the community is ever growing and they keep on fixing things. So we say that we wanted to our product can run on a version 1.0, and immediately in a couple of weeks version 1.1 is available in the market, and in another couple of weeks version 1.2 is available in the market. So we cannot specifically say that our product works with this version 1.0. So it is very tough for us to uh, manage the versions, or at least create a product availability matrix that our product can work on so and so versions. As the community is growing, as the products are growing in the CNCF world, there are plenty of challenges that we also face. That as we developed and say certify and say this works on so and so platform and so and so versions, immediately the version that is available, next version is also available in the market. So we had to take a call like what are the number of versions that we support. We also choose that we will support n-2 versions, and we need to decide on which versions or which product matrix our product can work on. So this is one of the key challenges that we faced. So if you don't know about CNCF project maturities, we have sandbox projects, and there are a lot of projects in the incubating stage as well, and a few projects have graduated. So when you use graduated projects in your product, then the products are all pretty much, components are all pretty much stable, and you are able to make use of them and then build your own solution. But when you are using your sandbox kind of a project, sandbox products or incubating projects, there is a lot of challenges with respect to the versions. So as the community is growing, so is the number of versions of these individual projects, and individual projects, and so the versions to support or version to maintain your product for also keeps on increasing. So this is one of the key challenges that we faced. So as some of the components in our product were incubating projects in CNCF, it was also causing a lot of issues as the number of versions available in the market are all quite increasing fast. So where are the containers today? So as you can see in this IDC survey, more than 70% of the customers are deploying their mission critical applications in the containers, and Kubernetes as a platform is ever growing. So we can see that, and we can also see that a lot of customers are willing to move to the Kubernetes platform in the coming years or less than 2 years. So we are providing we can see that the customers are able to adopt to the platform, and it is ever growing. As you can see from this IDC survey. So when you develop a B2B kind of a product, so we are in the right platform or the right stage, and it comes with its own challenges. So we have to face and adopt to these challenges so that we can release a successful product to our end users. So to give you a more glimpse about our product, I have some links over here. So where we have a trial edition of our product, which you can deploy it in any cloud provider of your choice, and then you can make use of this. So we have a trial, so it can be deployed in AWS, GCP, or Azure, and you can make use of this. So I'll just quickly show you the links over here. So this link gives you a different tutorials that are available, and you can see the different editions of the product. So you can, for example, over here, there's how to build your first pipeline with the Data Hub Developer Edition. So you can make use of this and create your own pipeline to explore more about the product. It gives you a simple download, trial edition download, which you need to deploy it in a cloud provider of a choice. So it can be either AWS, GCP, or Azure, and then you can play around it. So moving on, I will talk about one more open source projects that we are currently doing. So it's called as Kaima. So here also we are one of the early adopters. As an enterprise company, this project helps you to extend your core applications in whatever languages that you need. So it can help you to extend outside of your core application stack. With your any of your language, you can use any of your language, and you can extend your enterprise services. So there is also a talk about Kaima today in the conference, so you can also attend that to know much more about this. So this makes use of Knative. Uh, it makes use of STO. So this is one of the upcoming projects in the CNCF world. So this is where we are also actively participating things. So to recap, so what are the challenges that we faced in developing a B2B product? So first thing that came to our mind was how many K8s versions to support. There are plenty of platforms that are available. Which one to support our product with? How do we make use of our different capabilities, and then ensure that the customer gets a smooth experience in spite of the choice that he makes. So when we come to different products and different vendors, can the vendor act as a partner, and they take care of the certification in their stage? That is one of the things that we were looking for, and we were able to have the certifying part sourced to the vendor, and they were able to happily certify the solution in their platform, and that helped us to support or increase the support in our product availability matrix in terms of the number of vendors. And so using graduated products from the CNCF world in our product helped us to uh, adapt or build our solution quickly. But when we were using incubating projects or sandbox kind of projects from the CNCF world, we were facing plenty of issues with respect to the versions that we need to support. So one of the main challenge was to create a product availability matrix to which platform do we support, which platform, which versions do we support, how many versions to support. That was a key challenge as an enterprise company. So we need to make our solution available to maximum number of customers and maximum number of platforms or versions. So that was one of the key challenge. And how many versions should I maintain my product for? As the number of versions, or as the community is growing, and so is the number of versions available in the market. So how many versions should I maintain my product for? These were the key things that we faced, and we were able to address these successfully, and release a solution to the market. I have shared the links in my slide deck. You can make use of this, and play around with the product. So just to give a glimpse of how the product looks. So this is the pipeline modeler that I was showing. Here is a simple graph that I'm showing, a data generator and a terminal, and each of these nodes run in a container behind, and you can customize these things, and you can also you see it pictorically, and also see it in a JSON format, and you can just uh, click on these example graphs and then play around with it. So this is what you get when you deploy a trial edition in a cloud. So this is running on AWS, so you can also deploy it and play around with it, and you can also do customized things. So you can also write your own operator with Python or Go or any other language. We can do the things, how you can connect to different sources, and how you can ingest the data and then add different capabilities, governance to the data, and then make insights out of it. So this is our product. With that, come to the end of the presentation.